Hey guys, how's it going? And isn't this an interesting time to be in? Yesterday we got sent an email saying that Cambridge is closing. They've gone from their amber stage to their red stage action plan. So doing some research, turns out Cambridge last closed properly in 1665 when the Great Plague was in London, and students, notably Isaac Newton, were sent home to the countryside where the population was less dense. Now Isaac Newton was famously at Trinity College, which in fact today is the richest college in Cambridge. I think they've got roughly £1.4 billion in endowments. But yes, during the time when they were sent out away from Cambridge is when he worked out the principles of infinitesimal calculus. Practically since then, even during the World Wars, Cambridge wasn't closed. Students were asked to be trained up to be part of the Army Reserves. Cambridge has finally told students they must go home if they can. Having begun here in 2016 myself, this is the last thing I expected halfway through my degree. And now the Vice-Chancellor hasn't just told students being undergraduates to go home, he's told both undergraduates and postgraduates to go home. And a lot of the labs which are not focusing on coronavirus are also being closed down. Doing my master's project this year, I was hoping to go into the labs, but it turns out on Friday at 5 p.m, the labs are indeed closed until further notice. We've had announcements that in Easter term, no students are expected to return to Cambridge. This situation kind of feels like the part in Harry Potter where they say Hogwarts has to close. For a lot of students, particularly international students, it's quite an interesting situation because Cambridge is their home from home, and the fact that the second home can no longer accommodate them is just a profound situation. But of course the university has been as supportive as they can be, and a lot of colleges, particularly Jesus College, is accommodating students so amazingly. But anyway, I luckily live in London, so for me to go home isn't the most difficult of things, and I will be doing that in the next few days. Today though, before the labs close, I need to go quickly, keeping to myself as much as I can, to go and pick up a few things and finally make sure that I have a few things in place that I can do over the vacation. Because even though exams are cancelled in person, there's a very high chance exams might be done online or through a coursework means. But also, 50% of my grade this year comes from my master's project. And so just because university closes doesn't mean I don't have to write my thesis. And so I need to go to the lab quickly before it closes formally to go and get some stuff. So along here at this time of the year, there'll be quite a few cycles going by, and it's all completely empty. So behind us, that's the Trinity Hall Library. It's completely empty, and it looks shut even. And as you can see, the town's practically a ghost town now, and I feel as if once the government tell us to lock down, then the few people that are out, even those people won't be here anymore. Once the university closes on Friday, particularly the labs and all, then I feel as if most researchers and undergraduates will go home also. It's quite an interesting situation. And as you can see, just a handful of people around, whereas this bridge usually is a tourist hotspot filled with so many tourists. But anyway, yeah, let's go to King's Parade and see how that's looking like. So this place is called Senate Passage, and that place, Senate House, is where you come out when you graduate, and it seems like because of COVID-19, graduation ceremonies won't even happen this year because of the risk of infections being passed on. Even finals are at question as to whether they're going to happen or not. They say we're going to do online exams, but the feasibility of online exams is so questionable that the university hasn't yet told us what we're going to do. Meanwhile, we're all just continuing revising to try and be as best prepared as we can be for whatever form of examination they decide to throw at us. So this is King's Parade. Again, always packed with tourists. There's King's College behind us. And as you can see, hardly any people here. In a few days' time, there'll be even fewer people coming, so yeah, we'll see what happens to Cambridge. The worst thing is, a lot of Cambridge businesses are locally run and owned by locals. So the lack of tourists, the lack of students is going to hugely impact those businesses and really hope that when we all return, when the university reopens, that most of them will still be open. That's Sen Kath behind us, again, telling students to go home. Corpus Christi, the doors are closed for Corpus Christi. Again, highlighting how a lot of colleges are telling their students to go back home or go back overseas if they are international students. Anyway, right, enough of that. Let's go to the lab and try and get as much work done as we can before they close them down tomorrow at 5 o'clock. I'd say a juxtaposition to Cambridge being practically empty are these wonderful cherry trees blossoming. So I just got to the engineering department, going to go into the lab and get some work done. Hey guys, so yesterday I finished up in the lab, did some more work. I need to go back today to do some final things quickly. I feel as if once the labs close at 5 PM today, they won't be open for the next few months, given Cambridge's approach to dealing with this coronavirus situation, which has been amazing so far. But we all expected the university libraries to close. However, I didn't expect Jesus College to be closing its own library. I guess it's a necessary measure, but I was hoping that while staying here I could use the library once in a while. Since the library will be closed, I don't really see any point of me staying in Cambridge. I might just go back to London and stay with my family. My room for loads and loads of time just revising isn't really going to be the nicest of things, and I feel as if going home would be a healthier environment for me to stay and arguably self-isolate. And given the case of a lockdown, it would be a nicer environment for me to be. So we're going to go to the library quickly, and before they close at 4 PM, we're going to quickly spend the next 20 minutes printing some example papers that I want to crack on with before my exams, which are also due soon. As far as I know, university exams at Cambridge aren't being cancelled, they're just being moved online, or they're being converted into coursework exams. We don't know yet, we find out on the 30th of March, but that's a bit annoying for me, given my exams are meant to be starting on the 20th of April. So whatever they do decide to choose, the engineers, particularly the 3rd and 4th years, will have rather little notice. Regardless of that, we're going to go to the library now, we're going to print some stuff off, and then I think I'll get to editing this video. I guess a lot of you want to know what's happening here in Cambridge, and also if you're holding an offer to start in Cambridge this fall, you might be quite concerned. And for those of you, I really suggest just keep up to date with the university channels, the official channels. They will be far more informative than I can be. I'm just sharing my opinion of what's going on here. So for me, it's been quite surreal actually. Literally 2 weeks ago, we were going to lectures, going to labs, getting coursework done, preparing for exams, the final push for exams. And before you know it, there's a massive outbreak, the country's going to lock down, the supermarkets are struggling. And the worst thing actually is less so the actual thought of the negative impacts of the virus directly. It's the anxiety, it's the tension amongst society that's being created in response. Everyone's panicking, everyone's getting quite angst, everyone's really worried about their family and friends, and that's completely understandable, but it's just a really interesting time to be in, to see how people are reacting. But also in terms of politics, it's quite interesting how in America you've got Fox News and how they're flip-flopping between how, the coronavirus didn't exist even 2 weeks ago, how it was a hoax 2 weeks ago, and now they're saying they're giving the most direct response to tackling this virus. Seeing in England how the current government's dealing with this, it's all very interesting to see how we're having to, tackle the reality of this problem. Because I really think in the West, a lot of governments underestimated the coronavirus outbreak, but I don't think many people expected it to spread so rapidly and so deeply to Europe and America. The most important thing is that you keep up really good hygiene practices, you wash your hands thoroughly, you avoid contact with people, direct contact, and you make sure that you try and keep as much distance as you can from other people. Your mental health is also really important, so keep talking to friends, use FaceTime, use Skype, and keep in touch. And I guess during this period of time, cohesiveness is so important, and yes, fingers crossed we will get through this and the damage caused is minimal. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys soon. I really hope you enjoy the following bit of B-roll of me just going and printing some notes out. Yeah, I don't know, some of you might like it. Anyway guys, I'll see you soon. Take care.